Libra, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? What is good? What it do? It's time for your weekly check-in. So we're just gonna see what's going on with you guys for the last bit of September. So it's like the last week and a half. So this is just a weekly check-in. So it's just a short, quick, general, energetic overview. If any of you need a personal reading, you can always go straight to my website, tarotwithrich.com. But I do have a link for that right in the description of the video. All right, let's hop on in, man. Let's see what we can tell, Libra. What can we tell you? How's the energy looking for the end of September? How's it looking with your situation and the person you're dealing with? How's it looking? 3 shuffles. There's 1, 2, and 3. Boom. Uh-oh, damn, 3 of Cups straight out the gate. So, could definitely be a third party situation for some of you. Or just some other third person or third energy in the way somehow. This kind of feels like, with the Ace of Swords in the reverse, usually that indicates to me somebody that doesn't, well, I don't know if they want to talk to you. Usually they do when that comes out, but they don't know how to approach you or what to say to you, you know? We got this Death card here, though. So it's kind of looking like the door is closing on this. A lot of times there will be an open door of opportunity. Energetically, the universe will leave an open door of opportunity for one, the other, or both of you, or whoever, to see what you want to do with this, if you want to close things out, if you want to give it another go, or whatever you want to do. And if y'all just sit there quiet in a silent standoff with your thumbs up your bums, eventually the universe will close the door and say, nah, too late. Time for the next soul contract. It's kind of what it's looking like, the end of September is looking like to me. It's what it's kind of looking like. So this is closing out. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're releasing it. Maybe you are. That's a different topic, but it looks like this is closing out. The cycle is closing out. Some of y'all might be all right with that, though. You very well may. Some of you dealing with a Scorpio. I also have Sagittarius and Aries here. But, you know, it could be anybody. Those are just energies. Okay, and honestly, there's not a lot to talk about here, dude. This is a boring-ass spread. I ain't gonna lie. This is a boring-ass spread. All right. Well, let's see how they feel about you. Let's see their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. Ooh, 8 of Cups, though. So it kind of, yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks to me like they're walking away from this. They want you to think that they are done. You know, they want you to think they are done. And this feels to me like they were hoping, they were hoping that this would reel you in. If they just walk away and act like they're done. Dun 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 dun. That would reel you in, but it ain't been working. So now I think reality's crashing down on them. And they're starting to realize that, oh shit, maybe this is done. Maybe it's extra fucking crispy. Now, here's the thing, though. The question is, if they're trying to reel you in and they don't really want this to be done, the question is, why not? What is it that you want? And this is where it gets tricky to talk about, because I don't really think, it's not like they want something. I don't know how to even explain that, dude. I don't know how to explain that, where it's like just the thought of you moving on bothers them. But it's not like they're trying to get back with you and rebuild. It's not like they're trying to, like, they don't have this plan in their head of what they do want. They just have a thought in their head of what they don't want. That make sense? I know it may not, but that's hard to put words to. Just seeing you move on bothers them. But if you used to try to get back with them, they probably wouldn't want to do that. You know, does that make sense? Could be a Cancer for some of you. I had Aries again here. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get the advice. What's the advice for Libra? Hey man, look, 6 of Wands. I know I say this a lot, so let me see if I can figure out a different way to word it. I don't really know a different way to word it, but when you make the decision to do something that's hard, anything, it doesn't matter if it's something as simple as going to the gym and eating healthy. You know that in the back of your mind that that's something that you should do, but it's hard, you know? When you make a decision to do something that you know needs to be done, regardless of how bad it hurts or how it feels, you will always be rewarded. Always. Always. I'm going to tell you what, if you can make the decision to push through this and stay on the healing path, that's the most important part here. If you can make the decision to push through this, you got blessings headed your way that'll make you look back on this and laugh. And again, you know that I'm normally a little bit uneasy about just telling you to walk away. But I think the thing is that, like I said, the majority of you already know that you need to be walking away from this. But sometimes it's easy to get, you know, the what ifs going on. What if I messed up? What if I made a mistake? I get that question quite frequently, actually. Did I make the right decision? You know? And then the thing is that even if that wasn't part of the soul contract, by the time you did all that, it's too fucking late anyways. Because even if that wasn't supposed to come to an end when it did, the fucking shitty energy that created, it's going to be hard for y'all to work through that if you did try to come back together. So that created a karmic shitball of energy that would make it a 98% chance of a repeat cycle if you try to do it again anyways. So, you know, by the time that's done, whether or not it was the right decision, with very few exceptions, doesn't really matter. But this was the right decision. So let the tower burn to the ground. Clean up the mess, which is a metaphor for go through the healing process. and allow for the universe to bring you the blessings that align with your highest good. Now, you will be tested. Oh, you're going to be tested 100%. That's a different topic for a different time. But you got blessings waiting for you around the corner. As long as you pass all the tests. Everybody's tested. Don't let that freak you out. Don't think that there's some way you can avoid that. Nobody avoids that. None of us level up without being tested. Best case scenario, you float right past it, never even fucking realize it. Worst case scenario, you get sucked back in and repeat a past cycle. And everything in between, you know. But, all right. Okay, well, let's see what's coming in next for the singles. What's coming in next for the singles? Okay, well, like I told you, you're more than likely going to be tested. You will be tested. But this normally doesn't come through like this, so this is interesting. If you are able to pass the next test, there's a pretty decent soul contract waiting for you. I don't know if I would go as far as to say your divine life partner, but when you step up into the next vibration, you will be in vibrational alignment. How am I going to say this? This is weird. You will be in vibrational alignment for building a life partnership, right? You got to be vibrationally aligned for that to even step in and create that kind of lifestyle. It's going to demand a different version of you. And you're stepping into that energy where as long as you're vibrationally aligned, whether it's your actual person or not, you are much more vibrationally in the head space and in the heart space to be able to lay a foundation, right? As long as you and anybody you come together with that's in the right head space and the right heart space and ready, willing, and able to do the work that takes, you know, because it takes work. Oh, it takes work. Your person showing up, that doesn't mean that you kick your feet back and float on a cloud happily ever after for the rest of your life. Oh, no. Oh, no. It still requires an awful lot of work, energy, and effort. The difference is you'll get to experience what it's like for two people to do that work together as a team for the first time, you know? I don't want to go too far down the wrong rabbit hole right now, but yeah, there will be a test. There will definitely be a test. And I think the majority of you aren't really going to have to worry about that. I don't really think so. Because it's getting to a point where some of you are just ready to fucking give up on love altogether. And as daunting as that sounds, and for all intents and purposes it can be, when you start stepping into that energy, you don't realize that there is a very fine line between giving up on love and matching the frequency of abundance. Very fine line there. Because what most people are doing when they're looking for love, it's not really love that they're looking for. They're holding the gaping void in their heart wide open, thinking that someone else is going to fill it. Right? And I use the word void metaphorically because there is no fucking void. None of us are incomplete. We're all connected and we're all one. When you give up on the idea that somebody's going to come fill that void, you let go of it. And then it starts to close. You ever met a real pair of actual divine life partners? They're hard to come by. I'm not just talking about a couple that's been together for a long ass time. I'm talking about an actual pair of divine life partners. Everyone I ever met says the same thing. I decided to take a break from dating. I gave up on it. Wasn't even looking for it. Didn't even want a relationship. Something to the effect of that. And if you allow yourself to slip into the right frequency and that void closes, oh, you'll meet that person in less than a year. And one of the things that is a side effect of abundance from within is a very sensitive bullshit-o-meter. Very sensitive. Think about it. If you start feeling abundant in here, are you just going to let any Joe Blow or Jane Doe waltz into your life? Are you going to be willing to take the chance on bringing somebody into your life who could potentially destroy the peace that you found in here? You're going to be ultra sensitive to bullshit. Ultra sensitive. It's hard to explain, but you could talk to somebody for 10, 15 minutes and get a download. Oh, whew. If I bring you into my life, I can just feel it. It's going to be drama, arguments, you accusing me of shit I didn't do, telling me what I can and can't do, trust issues, insecurities. Nah, I'm good. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I'm all set there. You know, I'm content enough with I'm more content with myself than to need to bring that kind of energy into my life. I'm good on that. Being alone sounds better than that. That's the vibration of abundance. And that's when you'll pass a test. That's a good example of what it's like to pass a test. Let's, I guess, get some advice. It's been coming through a lot, man. There's a lot of people being tested here in the last quarter of the year. Because we're wrapping up and ready for a new cycle, man. Let's see if there's any advice. Any advice for Libra? Ooh, make sure you're healing from your past. That's the #1 priority. Don't ever let any new person distract you from healing that needs to be done from the past. And that's really, really, really easy to do. Really easy. And do not get into a relationship to intentionally distract yourself from healing that needs to be done from the past. Don't do that. Don't do that. No third-party situations. I don't know who needs to hear that. Don't know. Oh, man, there is so much past energy coming through here. This is like 80% past energy. So we already talked about that. No third-party situations. I don't know who needs. I know not all of you need to hear that, but no third-party situations. I promise you, I mean this with the utmost love and respect. You aren't special. If they're cheating with you, I promise you they will cheat on you. If the person that they married and go to bed with every night and kiss and say, I love you, can't trust them, I promise you, you can't either. I promise you, you can't either. You will very rarely hear me promise or guarantee anything. That's one of the few exceptions. I promise you, you can't trust them either. Emotional manipulators. Okay. Be sure you're in touch with your own energy. Pay very close attention to when people are intentionally poking and prodding at your emotions. All right? Just just pay attention to that. There's a lot of people out there who are gauging you and testing to see how you react to certain things, and they're mapping your gullibility, and they're wanting to see what you react to, how good you are at detecting bullshit. All right, so just pay attention, be careful. There's a good little way to test it. And this is slippery territory because, again, you shouldn't have to test your person. But just take this with you on your journey. A good way to test it is to set some sort of boundary. Or if you suspect that they might be intentionally trying to get an emotional reaction out of you. You know what I'm talking about? I wish I could come up with an example. I can't really come up with an example off the top of my head, but you know how it is when you kind of suspect that somebody may just be trying to see how you react to something. And if you ever suspect that, if you're ever suspicious and thinking about that, try this. Go cold and don't react at all. Don't react at all. Cold. And then pay attention to how they respond. A manipulator will dig deeper. They'll poke harder. Or you'll feel them shift directions. You know? And again, cold. No reaction, no emotion. And eventually what you'll start feeling is frustration. You'll start feeling I'm getting frustrated. That's a bad sign. When you set some sort of boundary or withdraw some sort of emotional reaction to something, like, let me see if I can come up with an example. Like let's say you just met somebody and they say something to the effect of, oh man, I just lost my job yesterday and I don't even know how I'm gonna pay my rent this month. Right? Man, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. That's no good. You know, cold, not sympathy, not empathy, not rude. I'm not saying be rude about it. I'm just saying be cold and matter of fact about it. You know, because, I mean, at the end of the day, common sense would just kind of tell you that if I just met you, I'm not going to come straight out the gate with something like that. You know? So I'd be kind of suspicious as to why you're even saying that. So you go cold, you know, and then see how they respond. And if they're trying to manipulate you, they'll dig deeper. Yeah, and my daughter, I don't know how I'm going to get her diapers either. Damn, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. That's no good, man. And then they'll dig deeper and poke harder, and dig deeper and poke harder, and dig deeper and poke harder, and dig deeper and poke harder. And if you stay cold like that, they're going to blow the fuck up on you. They're going to start getting nasty with you. They're going to start getting angry, giving you these little backhanded compliments. You'll feel the frustration bubbling up. That means they're trying to manipulate you, and it's not working. And you got to be careful with this game too, because manipulators do not like people who can't be manipulated. They don't like that. Trust me, they don't like that. They will get very pissed off. So you got to be careful. Don't take it too far. Don't take it too far, because I'm telling you, you never know what an angry, pissed off manipulator will do if they get mad enough. So once you start feeling that frustration bubbling up to the surface, and you start hearing the fucking disrespect coming through, and the little backhanded compliments, and, you know, trying to guilt trip you, and just trying to shame you and talk down to you, you know, and you start feeling that frustration bubbling up to the surface, that's when you cut it off and say, nah, never mind. You know what? I ain't talking to you. Nah. Oh, well, you're just a self-centered, narcissistic, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, bye. Later. Bye. You know? you gotta just cut it off right there. So just some little pointers. you know, as to just how to navigate certain people in certain situations. You know, because that's the main thing that you really have to worry about out there is fucking manipulators. A person who is not trying to manipulate you is not going to try to cross any boundaries. They're not going to try to step on any toes. Now, obviously, it gets a lot deeper than this. You know, there's a lot of different kinds of manipulators out there who play a very good game. But just to kind of get you on the path and give you a little general idea, you know, just watch out for that kind of stuff. Again, when it all comes down to it, when you meet your person, you ain't going to have to put them through a test. Okay? Just know that. Throughout the course of my career, I have done approximately 1,000 personal readings per year since 2019. You know how many readings I've done with somebody who's actually dealing with their fucking person? Less than 10. Less than 10. When you meet your fucking person, the likelihood that you're going to need to come ask me anything is incredibly slim. Incredibly slim. I'm horrible at percentages, but off the top of my head, I can only remember doing 4 personal readings out of almost 6,000 where somebody's dealing with their actual person. And you know what they all had in common? They were no less than 15 years into the relationship. Actually, I think the first 3 were over 20 years. The shortest one was 15 years. It takes a long time to fuck that up like that. So, what percentage is 4 of 6,000? I don't know. I'm horrible. I'm not the math whiz here, but you know, you do the math on that. So, all right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Libra family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, the information for personal readings is all down here in the description. All right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.